All right, everybody, welcome to the Dang Sports Podcast. This is week 3, the XFL. This week we're all here. We got Gavin, we got Dan. Everybody's here and healthy this week, so that's a good thing. And it was a good week in the XFL. There was a lot of good games. Um, Pretty much like the Seattle game in DC were like the most entertaining of the year, I think, so far, probably. Um, yeah, so let's get into it. What did you guys think of week 3 in the XFL?
I think that DC game was great. Um, like the beer snakes back finally. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I like that too.
The yeah, the lemons were flying again. That needs to be taken care of. But the got a little chippy. I didn't like the fighting at the end. The fighting got out of hand. A couple of these games started getting a little bit out of hand. A little chippy. It's. I mean, it's football, but the Houston game started getting a little out of hand near the end. Some pushing and stuff. It's some of the games are getting a little chippy and pushy, but it's getting more competitive for sure. Orlando showed up, made that a game.
Yeah.
Um, but the Vipers' attendance is atrocious. That stadium is an absolute disgrace.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be the. I think that needs to get worked on, which I think they said they're going to. It's going to be updated and all that stuff. But it's an ex football. I think it's an ex baseball field for the A's at one point in time back in the '80s or something. I think it's sat dormant for a long time, didn't it? So
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
if
it did.
they play out of it or anything, but it's. I mean, their attendance is 6,000 people. Um, but other than that, I mean, let's get into these games, man. We can talk about it and go from
Yeah,
there.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can break down each game. Like I was saying, I really enjoyed it. Like I feel like this was the most entertaining week of football, like so far at least. Like the games were just like phenomenal. Like the Seattle game, I don't know if you saw that, but it came down to like just exciting play after exciting play. It was crazy. But all right, let's go. So yeah, so right here for the YouTube viewers, you can see the we have it up on the screen in front of us. Final of Seattle game, 30-26. So we'll talk about that game first, and I'll go ahead and bring this one up. So here we go. You guys can see it, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So yep, 30-26. You can see like the first 2 quarters of the game, each team it was 9-9 going into halftime, and then you can see like a scoring frenzy in the second half, 30-26. Like it's a high scoring game. Like once again, Seattle put up a ton of points. Look at this: 377 yards from Ben DiNucci, 4 touchdowns. Like they're a good offense. And then Morgan Ellison with 103 yards. Um, yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought it
Morgan
was a good
Ellison.
game.
Yeah, Morgan
Yeah.
Ellison went off. He had a heck of a game. I think it looked like like hyperextended a knee or something late in that game. He got hurt, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looked a little rough, but he was running hard, man. That dude was running. Is that the first 100-yard rushing game this
Uh,
season?
no.
that might be actually. I think so. I mean, because coming into week 1 and 2, like I think after week 2, the highest like the number one rusher had like 110 yards or something like that in 2 weeks. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it is.
yeah, because everyone's only averaging like 60 or 70 yards a game at
Yeah.
most. I think
Yeah.
that quite possibly could have been the first 100-yard rushing.
It seemed like in the first 2 weeks, it seemed like DC was like the only running team in the league, and a lot other teams like some were running, some were mixed, and some are just passing. And I don't really have it on the top of my mind which teams they were, but it seemed like the running game
Are
didn't
you getting
really.
in the shower? I muted myself. All right.
But
Shut the door.
Battlehawks
Ah, yeah.
Battlehawks had a good running game, solid for a couple weeks with Hill. I don't think he got 100 yards though. That
Yeah, no, like, yeah, we can bring up the stats because I have that on another slide. But here, I'll scroll down a little bit. Like Ben DiNucci, I have him as like a top, probably like a top, I don't know, top 4, top 3. I mean, the only thing is that he makes a lot of mistakes, like all the time. It's not really interceptions. It's most of the time fumbling the ball constantly. I don't know why he does it.
Of the season for them, he's the reason they're losing. He's the reason they're losing. Every time they're on a goal line or they need a big play, he fumbles the football. Or
he fumbled it this game on the strip sack,
Yep.
and that ended up being a touchdown for the Vipers.
He's a nightmare with turnovers. It's the reason why a lot of these guys aren't in the NFL. I mean, Hundley, he had a couple turnovers too that needed Hundley.
Yeah,
I mean, Hundley had a decent game, but nah, it wasn't great.
It was one of these stats.
But yeah, so like right here, you see the receiving yards.
Huntley,
did he fumble the ball?
No.
I almost felt like
did he? Oh,
Who?
No fumbles.
No, he didn't fumble or nothing. He didn't turn nothing over. He actually.
No, he fumbled. I'm pretty sure he had a fumble here. I can go down. Let's go down. Fumble. Yeah, look right here. 2 fumbles, 1 loss. Look right here. Fumbles. So yeah, he's a fumble machine, man.
That's Danucci.
Yeah, that's Danucci.
No, I'm
Is
talking.
That who you're talking about?
Huntley. Yeah.
Oh, Huntley, I don't know. I'd have to go over. We can actually. I can go over and look at him real quick.
We know Danucci turns it over. Danucci turns it over every week. I think he turns it over once every 2 drives. The way he's going.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, fumbles. No fumbles. Yep, no fumbles from Vipers. But yeah, like you see here, like Josh Gordon had a freaking amazing game, and Ja'Cory Pearson, like they're becoming like the 2-headed monster over there. Like every game, like every stat on this sheet looks amazing for the Seattle Dragons this week.
Well, the Josh Gordon touchdowns, it was a last second hail. It was a 4th down play, wasn't it? 4th and
yeah, it was 4th and 2. Now that would have ended the game if they didn't even. That was a risky throw too.
Yeah.
Yep, 4th and 2. 65-yard pass for a touchdown.
Yeah. With
a minute remaining.
4th and 2, 65 yards.
Yeah, crazy.
Pretty much.
And then
and the Vipers, I think the Vipers are better than what people think they are, because I mean they had the Battlehawks covered, right? Week 1. And they had
they did.
No, that wasn't Arlington. It was the Vipers.
Oh yeah.
And the miracle comeback they had was on the Vipers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Who? Oh, Battlehawks came back on the Brahmas.
That's right.
Week 1.
And Vegas played Arlington.
Oh yeah, and then they threw a bunch of pick sixes. That Perez threw.
Yeah.
Sixes. But they've had, point being is they've had opportunity to win. They're not as bad as the record showing. They're not, they very easily could be 2-1. And I mean, there's a couple teams here that I think could be a lot better than the record showing.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely better than Orlando, but they they have some turnovers that kind of bite them, or just bad plays. They can't finish. I mean, I know Rod Woodson's on the sideline freaking out. They just can't put a game away. Can't put a game away. And it was the Vegas kicker hit his first field goal of the year. Yep. He was 0-3 coming in, finally made his first kick. And that was 35-mile-an-hour winds, driving winds in that game. Seems like there's bad weather at every single game in Vegas.
He ended up missing another one, and later in the game, making another one.
Hey, Gavin.
Yeah.
Real quick. I think your headset, I can hear every word I'm saying. I think your headset might. Wait, nope, it went away. Okay, it went away now. Sorry, I just want to make, because I could hear it on the feed thing. I was just hearing myself. Okay, we're good now. But yeah, Vipers had a good game. I mean, on defense, both sides, there wasn't there wasn't many. Look, there was 1 sack the entire game. It was on the Vipers, and interceptions. There was 1 by Adam Sparks. But other than that, there was nothing really crazy on defense. It was an all offense game this time. So yeah, that was a good game to start off on Saturday night. And then you guys want to go to the next one now?
Yep, go ahead.
All right, we're to the next one.
Ooh, that was
all right. Here's the next one. Okay, so Battlehawks versus DC Defenders, which was a crazy game. It was awesome to start out the weekend of football with these 2 back-to-back crazy games. DC started the game out 14-0, And then
Yeah.
by halftime, they tied it 14-14, right? I think 8 plus 6, 14-14. And then, it was just a crazy second half, yeah.
Yeah, they finally showed some offense, and Jordan Ta'amu finally showed up and played some quarterback. You know, he threw a long ball down the left sideline to get the first set up the first touchdown, to pass to the tight end, and a nice shovel pass to the tight end to score on the 2-point conversion that got him up 8-0. Then another pick six from our buddy Mike. Who's the
Michael Joseph, I think.
Yeah, Michael Joseph. Yep. So he came in.
Oh yeah.
Michael Joseph.
That was a pick six actually again.
Yeah, same way he did it the last time since week 1. So he's actually tied for the lead in interceptions. I think he has 3 this year. 2 pick sixes, to the same exact end zone. You know, nice flip into the end zone. That started it off. Got him up 14-0. McCarron was throwing it out, and he's tied with Sean Davis.
No, he's in front.
No, Sean Davis had a pick. That's not updated. Sean Davis had a pick that night, or IG Harris. One of the two. One of the two had a pick in that game, which we'll look at that a little bit. And tied him up for 3 interceptions. But he took the pick. McCarron threw an out. Receiver fell down. He just caught it, took it to the house, up 14-0 right away. And then it just was a battle back and forth. And then they shot right back, came back. Like we say, it went in 14-0 at the half. Then they came back. It was they were up. What were they up in the fourth here?
They were up 30.
I can go up.
No, 25.
I think they were
25.
Well, yeah, St. Louis actually came, but what happened at the? I remember something happened where you guys were up by like 2 touchdowns, and then they did something. They got a score, and then they went for the 4th and 15 or something. That's when the whole fight broke out.
St. Louis had the ball 4th and 1 and was incomplete, so gave DC the ball, and it looked like the game was over. DC had the ball with 2 touchdown lead. They ended up fumbling it, and St. Louis got it back and got it.
Oh yeah, they fumbled it on their own 1-yard line.
Yeah,
I remember.
Exactly right. They held them on 4th down. It was a 4th. They held them on 4th downs, right? They held them on down.
No, I think it was a pick. It was an interception.
No, it wasn't.
And then he caught it at like the 1-yard line.
No, I don't think so. Oh yeah, it was. You're right. It was a he threw a corner fade. They threw a little to the pylon, and he went up across and got it, intercepted it, toe tapped it, and then very first play they fumbled the snap.
Yeah, that was on 4th and 6.
Butler was taking over, right? Butler took over. I think Butler took over on that drive. Butler was, going off. He just kept passing it to Butler. Butler just couldn't be stopped, and then he threw that out pattern and got intercepted on 4th and 6.
And then fumble, and then
they got it back, and they threw the pass back. They threw the quick slant to Mitchell
for 2 yards, and then got a 2-point.
Tried to rally. They, did one of their little late rally. They always rally late, man. That's one thing. They don't quit. I give it to them. They do not quit. Had a late little rally there, and then he got sacked on the 4th and 15 onside kick play or whatever it is, and then the fighting started. So, which it was got way out of hand. I think it was classless, honestly. It didn't need to go that far. I think it was frustration set in, and they just, it was a cheap shot in my opinion. But then, of course, they always go after whoever retaliates. A couple with 3 DC defenders were ejected. So
it
is what it is. They're going to be at it again. In 2 weeks? They come back for the rematch in 2 weeks. So it's going to be interesting.
They're playing in St. Louis, I think, too.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be a good game. I mean, like, looking at it here, they just had a solid game all around, but both teams. Hakeem Butler on the St. Louis Battlehawks, he had 9 receptions, 105 yards, 1 touchdown. Yeah, so I mean, it was just a really good game. If anybody didn't watch it, you can go back on ESPN Plus and watch it because that was a really good game.
Yeah.
All right, and then
And the bear
we'll go
snake
this one.
was back. It was very large this time.
What?
The bear snake.
Oh
It
yeah,
came from
yeah,
the first wall to the top, I think.
yeah. It actually curled and went down, and they combined it to another snake. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw that. That was fun. Yeah, they were getting crazy there. They kept showing the crowd and stuff. It was crazy, but yeah, okay. So then the next game, you can't top those last two. Obviously, it was Orlando Guardians Renegades. It was like a defensive slugfest. Look at this. In the second and third quarter, there was 0 points, and there was only two touchdowns scored in, but they were both in the fourth. But at that point, everybody probably changed the channel. But
Yeah,
I mean,
this one was a hard one. No,
Yes.
I mean neither team has any offense. Paxton Lynch struggles. Uh, Kyler Slaughter. It's just they have no offense. The Renegades. Arlington has a good team defensively. They're strong.
yeah,
Very anemic offense. Don't
Yes.
move the ball very well. It's hard to figure out their problem. I mean, Slaughter. I mean, he's 18 to 23 for 124, but it's dimp and dunk. They're doing the short yardage, a lot of short yardage. A lot of fans at the game. I've noticed in some of the Facebook pages and stuff where sit there at the game screaming, "Go deep! You got to go downfield!" And they're real frustrated. It's a dip and dunk offense, and it ain't going nowhere. So I think they need to do some changes. It's going to be a slow. It's going to be a tough year for them if they don't get some movement with the football.
yeah, for sure. I mean, Orlando. I mean, Paxton Lynch. I mean, he played on the Michigan Panthers in USFL, and I watched a few games when that came out, and he looked. He just looks like a terrible quarterback. Honestly, I don't know why teams keep starting him. I mean, Kyle Slaughter. He looked like a good quarterback in USFL for the Breakers, and I don't know. I mean, Paxton Lynch is okay, but I feel like they got to figure something out. Their game plan's clearly not working because offensively they can't do anything, And then the one thing that they were talking about in the Dallas game, or not Dallas, Arlington, like for Arlington, is that Kyle Slaughter wasn't turning over the ball because apparently Drew Plitt or whatever their previous quarterback, he kept turning the ball over like all the time, like a couple interceptions a game, and they kept talking about how, well, yeah, they're not scoring, but Kyle Slaughter, he hasn't given up the ball, which is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Sal Cannella got held the five receptions, 33 yards. They held the best tight end in the game. Kind of shut him down. I mean, other than that, they don't have much going for it. With Vaughn's, Van Der Esch, there's nobody going, getting any with Davon Smith. They're just not getting open. Not much of a rushing game. I mean, Smith had 18 carries for 49 yards at a 2.7 average. It's not going to cut it. In Orlando, everybody said Orlando looked like they outplayed the Renegade. Just lost the game. They came out.
Yeah.
They actually showed a fighting chance this time. So that's good to see because Orlando was in the whipping post of everybody. They actually had a shot at winning this one, but it's good to see.
Yeah, they definitely did. That, like, I feel like they outplayed them too, but I mean, I guess they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
And at the last drive near the end of the game, it was 10-9. Orlando had the ball. I don't know if you were watching. But Paxton Lynch threw a deep ball to like the 40, and he apparently called it, but the command center went in and reviewed it, and they called it incomplete. Nobody saw it that he lost control. So basically, if they didn't see that, Orlando would have won that game.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it wasn't a catch. I watched that game. I mean, it did hit the ground. I mean, but I mean, it was a good catch. I mean, if they wouldn't have had time to review it, then
If they didn't see that, then probably the Guardians most likely would have won that game.
Yeah, I think so
Was it
too.
overturned? Was that an overturned
Yes.
play?
Yeah, it was overturned.
Well, that's their, it's the job. Put that on mute. I mean, that's their job, is at least to come. That's the one thing that's cool about the XFL is they come in and, Blandino's up there overlooking the rules for every game, and they get it right most of the time. I mean, the Lattimore play in week 1 was iffy, but and I do like Lattimore's
Yeah.
attack. I do like that. He was, he came in the league with Denver and then went to the Giants, and he was a wide receiver. Now they put him as a tight end in this league. He's doing decent. Just a lot of tough sledding for that offense so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how they get going, but yeah, and then the last game of the weekend, Sunday Night Football, was the Brahmas versus Roughnecks, which I thought this was going to be a lot better of a game than it was. I mean, it was still close. It was by like a touchdown, but the Brahmas, like, I just feel like they didn't really do much at all. The Roughnecks dominated the first half of the game and then didn't score anything after that. It became like a defensive game. I mean, I didn't watch this entire game, but you did?
They won the game on a goal line stand, dude. They got first and goal on the 1 yard line, and they stopped them 4 straight times from the 1, and won the game on the goal line stand. They're going in for the tie. They had a shot at a 9-pointer to come in and tie it, and they Brahmas threw a ball down, got to the 1 yard line, and then they 4 runs up the middle got plugged. He went diving, linebacker smoked him on the first play, and then I mean, they just absolutely blew it. I was basically fourth and on the inch yard line, and they just blew the line up, man. And 4 guys were they almost took the handoff, and then that was it.
Wow.
And then they kind of ran the clock out. Yeah, it was a good game. It went all the way to the wire, dude. It was about 3 minutes left. They were on a 1 inch yard line, and they got plugged on 4 straight plays, dude. It was a good game. It was more than the score shows.
Yeah.
I mean, with Houston, you're going to have defense. Defense is ridiculous. Obviously, the best in the league.
Yeah, exactly. And then one other player I really like is Max Borhe, the big white guy, the running back. He played great. 15 carries, 74 yards. He did a great job.
Yeah, he's a decent runner. Brandon Silvers is coming in to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Very good quarterback. Watching him play more, Silvers is up there in quarterbacking. Then what else did we have here? A couple decent stops on the goal. 2-point conversion stops. Quarterback got hit pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a solid defensive game. What you're gonna have these are 2 decent defenses, but Houston's defense is obviously bar none one of the tops. What you're gonna have that with the coach anyway.
I mean, if you see like on here, if you look at Jack Cohn had he only had 64 passing yards, 8 for 20. I mean, Houston shut them down completely almost, it seems like, but they still found a way to score some points, clearly. But
how did they score on here? What's the score in here? Play.
This is one passing touchdown, it looks like.
They scored on the very first drive. They took it to them right on the first drive, and then Houston completely shut them down until later. They let's see, kickoff. Going past the Basher 9-yard touchdown pass was a nice pass in the corner there, and then it did nothing till the 4th quarter. Yeah, I think the interception.
Yeah, what? And you're talking about in this game? What happened?
Yeah, yes. I'm trying to figure out remember.
It does say that Brahmas had 1 interception in this game, and then it said, wait, let me look at that.
That's right. They got them. They scored in the 3rd quarter. And then from there on, it just was nothing, just a lot of defense. It's back and forth defense in the goal line stand, right? Really, it was not much action in the second half as per scoring and anything, and a little bit of just clutch sacks and different things that came in. And I mean, obviously, the goal line stand was
Yeah. Yeah,
ridiculous.
I mean, it looks right here like interceptions, only one sacks. They had only one sack like as a team, but like you were saying, they were getting getting pressure on them, and
I
the
think that game,
assist, or there's a lot of tackles too, 26
the over
tackles.
under on that game was like 36.5 too, and everybody would whoever bet it the over on that one, man, that one looked like it was going to the over because what was the score? What do we have here?
Here,
It
let me
went
get back up
under.
here.
What was it? What was the score? Final score?
It was.
So yeah,
Oh yeah.
36.5. You got down to the 1 inch yard line, and everyone. So Vegas, everybody lost on that over. So they got hit right on the. That was nuts. So I know anybody looking at over under on that game got hammered on that one. But
Yeah.
ended up being a
Yeah,
good
for sure.
good week. Got your it's attendance numbers. You can go back up to attendance numbers. Austin.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. We want to go to that one next. Okay.
Yeah,
Here.
we'll talk about the attendance again. The attendance
All
number
right.
doing terrible. We're getting there. Everybody is very interested to see what St. Louis is going to have here, as they're supposedly we're got the upper bowls being sold. They're talking 30,000-40,000 people here.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see if that happens. It would be great for the league.
Well, yeah, I mean, San Antonio and St. Louis are both going to be the top dogs when it comes to attendance and stuff. Because I mean, that's where there's no football at right now, no NFL teams.
Yeah, I get that. Vegas, I struggle bad with Vegas. I don't know if that's the right venue for this. It's more of an eyesore on the league to me at this point than it's helping the league, in my opinion. It's 6,000 people is rough, man, and that stadium can hold a lot when it just doesn't. I mean, look at this 6,037 people, and it's
Well, yeah, I mean, technically that's like 15 more than the last game, but still, like it. I mean, that's terrible because people were saying, "Oh, it was raining" or this. I mean, I don't want to like be a hater or anything, but that Vegas, it's just terrible. Like it can only hold 12,000 people. Like they filled up half the seats, but still, it's like I don't know. You should be selling to that.
It doesn't even look like it's holding half the people. And when you're watching the game, it's just a complete eyesore. Obviously it's a baseball stadium. They're running it, parallel across the baseball field from the home plate area out to right field, and then you have that whole left field's open. They got a makeshift scoreboard out in the middle, and then it's just the open air, and then for some odd reason you got every wild element of weather that's come into this place.
Yeah, I know. It was like, did you see the wind? The wind
yeah,
was like 35 miles per hour.
Yeah,
per hour, yeah.
40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and the kicking game was wild.
Yeah.
They're kicking line drives, and it's getting blown everywhere, and it's an open-ended field on one end, closed off on the other end. It's just a nightmare for football, man. It's hopefully, and you said to me before don't they have planned what they're going to do?
Renovations. They're supposed to renovate it to add and completely other side to it. Because I don't even know I don't even know what other team plays there, but they have plans to renovate it into a full, like football stadium, basically.
I think a minor league team plays there.
Baseball.
Yeah, Las Vegas something.
I don't think that's been used for years. I thought that sat vacant for a long time. Look that up for us. Check it out and see. Because I honestly thought that stadium sat vacant for years, and they're trying to do something with it. Because it did hold. Why did you talk to me about this before, Austin? It held games for the Oakland Athletics for.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it did way back in like the 70s or something.
Yeah,
I saw something online.
It did in 6 games in 1996. The Athletics came in and played there.
Yeah, but what is it?
Okay, gotcha.
What has it been since? I mean, what's the most recent? Has a AAA Spokane Indians. Okay, the Las Vegas Stars from the PCL. So is in the 51s. That's the Pacific League. That's
Yeah,
the 51s. That's like AAA baseball, correct?
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
think
I guess
yes.
Aviators, and so it's a AAA baseball stadium, is what it
But
is.
I guess we can look at the non-negative side too. Like the DC Defenders, they had like 4,000 more fans this game. This was their second game, and they gained like 4,000 fans, like 25
Oh
more
no,
percent more people.
oh yeah, it was good. Arlington, what are they up? And that's about what they had the first game, wasn't it? In
Yeah,
Arlington, because
yeah. Arlington, no, Arlington. I think they also went up a little bit, but not much. Yeah, it was around 12,000.
and then Houston's always been averaging around the 11,000 range. I think they
Yeah.
hold like 22,000 at that stadium too, right? It's an old college stadium.
There's two layers to it. There's the bottom half and the top half, so it can hold a lot of people, but like probably like 30,000 or something
It
like
was
that. But
built from the Texas Rangers for I think 25 years or so.
What do you do? Arlington?
Yeah,
No,
only
yeah. Well, that was
yeah,
Arlington's. Yeah, it was no, it was it was the Texas Rangers stadium. That's not that old of a stadium. It's only
yeah.
20 years, and then Globe Life came and
yeah.
they put them in there too. So that's not an old stadium. It was a nice stadium. Even now, it's still a nice stadium. It's a baseball stadium, but the football field fits in there nicely. It looks good in there. It's obviously a couple. Seats sit kind of way back. It's not built exactly for football. A couple different views and all, but it's a nice stadium. To me, that's a perfect stadium. St. Louis is going to have the dome. Is going to be a perfect stadium for them. Where the Rams used to play. It used to be whatchamacallit was the name? Edward Jones Dome. Now it's just the dome. I think perfect stadium for them. You get yeah, that gets up where around 30, 40, 50, 60,000, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, attendance is there. I think a lot of the fans are. I think the fans are still feeling this out from 2020.
Well, I definitely think like the DC fans, like me,
Yeah,
like I'm in some face. Wait, okay, I was getting feedback, my bad. But yeah, the DC Defenders, like I'm in Facebook groups, and it seems like a lot more people are going to the games. Like there's a lot more activity on social media and stuff. Like they went up like 25%. Like that, I feel like 16,000. That's good for DC. I mean, because that stadium probably only holds what do you think, like 25,000 people, maybe?
maybe 22. What does Audi Field hold?
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, maybe 25,000. It looked a lot more filled than when
Oh
we
yeah, it
won.
looked nice.
How many does it hold? 20,000.
20,000.
Yeah, only 20,000
Yeah.
in that stadium. So
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
they're almost
16,000. Yeah, that's almost a sellout.
70% capacity, right?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. So I mean, they're doing well, and obviously, think about it. I mean, shit.
Well, that's 75%. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, about 4,000 of that is the upgraded level seating there. That's on the home side that nobody sits in. That's the
Yeah.
$150 to $200 seats. But what they don't understand about them seats is that is the club level seating, and that comes with free food and free wine and beer. So the $150 ticket, man. With
Plus, you get somebody commented, I saw that it includes free parking, private parking too.
uh, that uh, that's what well, I think that's that dude that was commenting to me. I think he was talking about his Patriot stuff or something like that.
Oh,
It's
okay,
different
gotcha.
everywhere. Yeah, his tickets for, like, if NFL, they're not giving you free food and alcohol for your tickets. Some club levels might, season ticket wise. But he got, usually you get your free with VIP access parking and stuff like that. I don't know if you get that with these club tickets here, but to me, it's a good value. $175. You get unlimited beer
I
and
like it.
wine, and then the seats are really nice. You have to show a ticket. You get into the clubhouse, and to me, that's a worthwhile ticket. But that's why everyone kept questioning, why is it someone open over on that side of the field? Is because it's a premium price seat. But I don't think
Yeah.
a lot of people understand what you get with that premium price seat too. And if they did, it could probably change. So all the aftermarket salespeople don't tell you this when you go to buy those tickets. Because when we were looking at them, when we went week one, we wouldn't have known that you got the free food and the free liquor and all that stuff too. So
Yeah, exactly. But all right, so you want me to go to that? So next slide, I have like
Yeah.
as people can see on YouTube, the standings here. So the standings, because like I have to move like the logos and stuff every week. So the standings stayed exactly the same. That's the exact same standings. Like uh DC's first still at 3-0 on the north side. Then it's Battlehawks at 2-1. Then the Sea Dragons at 1-2. Then the Vipers at 0-3. I mean, I feel like the only thing I might change about that would be the I'm not sure. Maybe I don't even know. I mean, if the Sea Dragons and Battlehawks, I feel like the Sea Dragons are just as good as the Defenders or Battlehawks on that side. Um, yeah, I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a three-team race on both sides. The Vipers and the Guardians. I don't think are going to. I mean, barring major turnaround of events to get back into this. I mean, they're not out of it by any means, but they got a ways to go competitive wise. Both teams have proven they can win a game. They just can't finish the game. Guardians are a mess. They played better this week, but I see those two falling out to the wayside. And then the Brahmas, they've had shots. Dragons had shots, fumbling on the 1 yard line to lose. I mean, they've shot themselves in the foot more than they've, both teams, Brahmas and Sea Dragons, would be right up at the
Yeah.
very top of this at the end.
Yeah, for sure. And then on the south side, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. It's just kind of annoying that there's 3 Texas teams. I mean, I know The Rock has talked in many interviews that yes, they want to expand to 10 teams next year. I don't really know what. I mean, I don't know why they would take New York away. Like, I mean, I guess New York had like the smallest crowds in 2020, but at the same time, they had the Jets and the Giants. They probably weren't that interested. But I mean, Orlando, I feel like it would sound like a good idea on paper.
I'd like to look. I would like to see the numbers on those because I mean, go back and look at some of them Guardian games at MetLife, and they weren't. It looked more less filled, I guess, to say because such a big stadium, but they had a raucous crowd, man. They had people there.
They had in the first game they had 17,634 in that one, and then 5,000 less in the next one, 12,116.
So they had 17,000 people. So they're bringing
Oh
way
wow.
more than they're bringing in Orlando. So
Yeah.
I would have never taken them from Orlando because to me, Orlando
Well,
should
well,
split.
Orlando had like last week. I didn't include the attendance numbers. I don't think, but they had like 12,000 last week. They did.
I mean, New York always. I mean, New York would have still came out to this team. Like I definitely would have been. I'm doing regionally to us. That's why I like the Defenders at this point. But if it were New York Guardians, still I would be a Guardian fan, even if they're the worst team at this point. But it is what it is. And then they were talking expansion, right? Isn't Rock? I think he said in Player 50. There was
Yeah.
something somewhere it came up that next year they could have 2 more teams possibly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still out of
So
Texas teams.
yeah, that what? Yeah, they want to have another team come in or 2 more teams coming. Apparently, I don't know where they would add them, but yeah, I mean having 3 Texas teams they did because their queue or their main area
Their
where
hub.
like
It's
yeah,
called
their
the hub.
hub is in Texas. So like having 3 of the teams practice there probably saves them a little bit of money. Like they don't have to do what the USFL does,
No,
but
no, you don't understand. Everybody practices there. Everybody lives there. You know this, right? Every team. These aren't home games for anybody. You understand this, right? Every team travels to these stadiums to play. It's basically a road game for every game. Nobody like
yeah,
DC Defenders don't live in this DC. They all live in Arlington. It's where the main hub is, and they all practice in Arlington together. Every team practices together, and then they fly out to each stadium to play. They all live in the main hub, just like the USFL did last year with their hub that they had in where was that? What was the main hub in?
Canton, I think.
No, no, no. The main hub was in
No, it
somewhere in
was in
Texas too.
Birmingham.
Alabama. Yeah,
Oh
Birmingham,
yeah, Birmingham. Gotcha.
Yeah.
and everybody played in Birmingham Stadium, but this here, everybody flies out to the separate stadiums and play at their game, and then they fly back and go to Arlington, and then they practice during the week. So they all have practice schedules, and like 2 or 3 teams are on the field at the same time, just sharing fields. So
Yeah,
I don't know if people knew that's how it worked, but they technically aren't. It's your home stadium, but you're not at home, living at home, and not traveling. Everybody travels to their same game.
yeah, yeah. What I think's exciting. I know it's a little off topic, but like I know that you're on social media too, like in a few like Facebook groups, just to see what's going on and get more like knowledge, because people post like some good stuff in there where you can get some more knowledge or like upcoming seating and stuff. But anyway, like I feel like there's been a lot more involvement. Like there's been way more people talking about it, way more people involved and excited about the games and actually going out watching the games and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean people are liking it. It's got a good name. It's so far doing really well with it's good football. It's um I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's good football but bad football at the same breath. You know what I mean? You have there's a lot of turnovers, which there's some sloppy play. But that being said, in the end, it's always almost every game. There's only been a couple blowouts. Almost every game, at the end of the game, it's a chance for someone to make an epic comeback or a big comeback, or it always comes down to the wire almost. Every game there's a good ending, and the 9 points really get somebody a chance to come back really fast. You get on a
Yeah,
roll,
I like that too.
so it's interesting. It
Yeah.
keeps
Cause like
coming.
yeah, cause like me, like my favorite team so far is Seattle. Like that's the team I've pretty much chosen. Like I get hype at their like when I watch the games, but like they're so exciting. Like it like it's crazy because like even if they're like and they've been one of the teams that have been coming back and making it a game last second and stuff like it's exciting because like even if we're down by 8 or 9, we have a chance, or even if you're down by 10 and there's 5 minutes left, okay, there's a chance that they can
Yeah,
come back and they can win this.
I mean, you could be down by 19. Put it in perspective here. I mean, you could be down by 18 points and still have a shot of coming back in the last 3 minutes of the game. So it's
Yeah.
never out. You could be getting blown out the whole game. We've seen it a couple times. Teams
Yeah,
bail
like the Brahmas, like or what happened to the Brahmas with the Battlehawks? They
They will.
came back and did everything they needed to.
I mean, Battlehawks almost did it to DC this weekend. I mean, if they converted that fourth down play, they're it was getting interesting real quick. That game was over. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is done. It's over." They fumbled the ball on a snap on the 1 yard line. They go right in and score, and then they had the shot at the 4th and 15 onside kick type play, and then he got sacked.
Yeah,
So they're
I thought
holding
that was
that.
so
Look
cool.
out. So
That crowd was electric. Like it's so cool because like that last play when it came down to that last 4th and 15, I feel like the players were kind of like feeling the energy from the crowd because they were like, as soon as they sacked him, he went down. They went freaking nuts, and then the team started fighting. It was crazy.
oh yeah, DC to me has the best atmosphere for this so far. That their atmosphere is ridiculous. It's a
I know a lot of beef online with the St. Louis because they're like, oh, our home games next week, it's gonna be crazy.
Oh, it's a lot of trash talking back and forth. They said they're going to show everybody what a crowd looks like, and that's cool. That's fine. Um, DC, I think DC and Seattle or St. Louis, sorry, had created one of the first. I mean, I know this is going on for a little bit of a year, but right now I think that is the most fired up rivalry going right now. That's going to get nasty in 2 weeks when they come back. They go out to St. Louis. That's going to be
Yeah.
wild.
That's
Yeah, it's
7
exciting.
o'clock on Saturday, March 18th.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
2 weeks.
That's gonna be a good one.
It's
I
interesting
remember
too with St. Louis.
before this season started, I remember Austin. He kept on telling me to watch the 2020 highlights. The crowd was amazing and the football was great too. It seems like they basically kept the teams but relocated them out to cities, like more popular cities. The only new team there was
The Brahmas.
San Antonio. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think the only team that stayed was Seattle.
No, so DC stayed, Houston
Oh yeah,
stayed,
you see.
Battlehawks were a
St.
team.
Louis, Seattle. That
Guardians were
was it.
there. They were just New York. New
Yeah,
York was
that's
the
right.
Guardians, and Vipers were here too.
Yeah, they were different color. They were different
They
logo.
were
There was
green.
it was
Yeah,
a
they were
like
lime.
a lime green. Yeah.
Yeah,
They played at. I think they played at the stadium that. No, they played at the Buccaneers Stadium.
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, they
Tampa
with
Vipers.
the.
Yeah. Let's
Mm-hmm. Here, you want me to here? That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the
yeah,
next
let's get
slide.
that up there. Let's get this
Yeah,
finished.
so XFL Week 3 MVP. So I'm gonna go first. So I'll explain I had Josh Gordon from Seattle. I mean, just like watching that first game, like I had people texting me, like like, oh my god, did you see that play? Like even like people that don't watch it, like my dad. Well, my dad watches a little bit, but he doesn't watch that much. Like he even saw a clip on like scrolling through Facebook of this crazy play at them where Josh Gordon just bullied the dude. I mean, he was covered, but he just ripped that ball out. Like they both got like a hand on it, but he held on to that thing and he literally just pranced into the end zone. Like he made it look effortless almost. That guy is a really good player, and like they talk about it all the time. Like their head coach on the sideline after the game, they asked him because I sat around and watched the after game interviews and stuff on the field, and the lady asked him like, oh, like, what do you think about Josh Gordon? He said, well, it's a real shame that he's not on an NFL team right now because that guy right there can play some football.
Well, he always could. The guy's I mean, the guy led the league in receiving yards in Cleveland. You know, the guy was an absolute monster. He just couldn't stay off he could just go
Yeah.
walk away from the weed. You know, the guy's a great player. He's a heck of a talent. I mean, it's a shame he wasted what he had, but he's got a shot at trying to get back onto a squad. You know, and he's just that's why I picked him. I mean, he took over that last 5 or 6 minutes of that game. One heck of a corner to toe tap catch
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
before the Hail Mary catch or the 4th and 2 long one that won the game. I mean, that was a heck of a catch. I mean, that's NFL caliber catch there. You know, Danucci put it on the money, but he had to get the toes down, hit his head on the wall. Nice little celebration and all. But I mean, yeah, Josh Gordon took it over, man. He's definitely my MVP. He had over 100-yard reception. 2 touchdowns. He did his thing, man, and well deserved. It's been 118 yards on 6 receptions, 19.7-yard average, 2 touchdowns. He went off.
Yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Gav, you want to go with yours?
Yeah. Morgan Allison. I think he's new. I think he's never started yet this season. He played in like the first half. He played good. Bullied some of the defensive linemen from Vegas.
Ran over his own defensive line.
Yeah, too, huh?
Yeah. So
He ended up I think he stepped one of the players twice in one play.
Oh, yeah, he was really aggressive
he was
watching him play.
he was running hard. He really
He
was.
was doing fine until he got hurt in like the think fourth quarter, like last 10 minutes, 5 minutes or
It
something
was
like that.
late. I think it was on that
Yeah.
second last drive, the Gordon touchdown, first touchdown drive, real late in the game. Looked like like that was a rough looking injury. He tweaked, his leg slid behind him and he fell backwards on it. But hope he's okay. He's questionable for this week. Maybe a hyperextended knee or something. I don't know.
I think he might have came back in. It might have been a different game, different player I'm thinking of, but I thought he came back in for like a play or something. I don't remember. It might have been a different player. But yeah, Gavin, like you were saying, yeah, I've had my eye on him too because I've been seeing him get the ball every week, at some point in the game, and he is like I remember like the first game when he was going out of bounds, he like loaded up on this dude and blasted him. I remember that's when I started watching him. Like he is like not as good as like a Marshawn Lynch, but he runs like a Marshawn Lynch, where he just runs into people, bounces off of people.
Super hard. He really does.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
And then the Dang Sports XFL podcast, our podcast Power Rankings. We each do our own. So because last week you guys were sick in the house with COVID, I just did my own, so you guys don't have like the minus or +1, -1. But for my picks, like we're all pretty similar, honestly. Like the top three, we all have the exact same here. I have Houston as one. I had them as one last week. Um, DC I have as two. They went up one. I mean, they went up one because they beat St. Louis. I mean, St. Louis and them are even teams, I feel like. But DC just showed they can beat them. Like on offense, they looked better. So they're going up to two. St. Louis, I have going down one. At now they're number three. At four, I have Seattle. I have them going up three just because I needed that validation. I always like have them in my top four, top five teams, but I needed validation. I needed them to get a win to actually put them up there. Like Seattle is actually a really good team, and like every week they look like an overpowered offense. But like we were talking about, Danucci just has greasy hands or something, you know.
He's a problem, bro. He is
Yeah,
a problem. He is a turnover machine, dude, and he's
yeah.
going to hold him back. It's my biggest struggle with him, man. If they can just learn how to hold on to the football, it'd be a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, for sure. And then five, I have San Antonio. I have Seattle just going over them just because of that offense. San Antonio did good this week too, but like Jack Cohn being held to like 60 passing yards, that just knocked him down a slot. They're still a good team too, to me. And then Arlington went down to one. Like they went down one to number six. Arlington, they're slowly making their way the worst team in the league. Like I mean, they're 2-1, so they're winning, but they look like terrible last. Like every week on offense, they don't do anything on offense. Like their offense doesn't do anything. Like I remember the first week of this podcast, you said, Dan, you said the offensive line looks suspect. Their offensive line looks weird. Like they just don't look like they got it together. And clearly they don't have it together, because when I was watching that game, every defense they play gets to the quarterback or gets pressure on them. Like their offensive line doesn't, like, they don't run the ball good at all.
I think
And
just have a stagnant offense. Their offense is very weak, very very weak. I mean, it's a short they live and die on short yardage. I mean, it's a dimp and dunk game, man. And I don't know if that's going to do you any good. You know,
yeah,
the defense is strong. It just stays on the field all day long, and it tires out,
yeah,
and then that's when they start messing up. Oh,
yep.
but
And then seven, I have Las Vegas. Eight, Orlando.
I mean, I'm the same. I mean, the Wade Phillips defense again is dominant. They are beatable. Houston is beatable. Um, a heck of a goal line stand with San Antonio, because I mean they go in there, they tie it up. It could be, I mean, the chances of them going in and tying up might not have happened, but they tighten up when they have to tighten up. It's a tough defense. They're number one ranked in every defense category out there. I'm pretty sure. I know they were last week, and they only got better. I think it shocked them that they went right down and scored on them, and they got punched in the mouth and punched back. So
Mm-hmm.
DC, I needed I needed to know they had an offense, because Jordan Taimu was horrible the first couple weeks, and then he looked decent. King came in, did his thing. He had a touchdown and a 2-point conversion pass, I believe. Um, they got to do something more than the read option stuff all the time and taking off, and that you can't just have that as an offense. I don't think that's going to be enough to win.
Yeah.
It will win against weaker defenses, but I don't know if that's enough. If St. Louis, they're right there with DC. That game I think can go back either way when they switch spots. Arlington, pretty good defense. Offense is, eh. So that's Seattle can go back and forth. If it weren't for the Ben DiNucci effect for Seattle, I would have them above Arlington. But Ben DiNucci just can't stop turning the football over.
Yeah.
San Antonio, I think they're right there with Seattle as well. They're the team. They're one of the six that's going to be fighting for a playoff spot when it's at the end. And Vegas can't figure out a way to win a game, and Orlando's just sad. Playing better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll see them win a game here next couple weeks, but they're trending upwards. But they're still the worst team at this point.
Yeah.
I got Houston first. They no 3-0, obviously. Like their defense showed out on the last drive. They really showed up. They did that fourth goal line stand to win the game. So then after that, I got DC. A very good game. St. Louis and DC. That came to the wire, 4th and 15 again. A lot of 4th and 15 games this year, and they got stopped. They sacked the quarterback from St. Louis and won the game. And a lot of fights started to happen after that.
Yeah.
They got St. Louis. Kind of St. Louis because same thing. They played a good game, just couldn't get the win. Arlington, they just didn't really show up. Really got San Antonio. I don't know if they were to get that touchdown. If they would have gone for that 3, they probably would have, but made it. I've never seen I think somebody has made a 3-point conversion one time.
Just like 30% conversion. So only
Yeah.
like 4 of them or something to that effect. Of course, Seattle goes every single time, which is
that really was annoying me the entire game. I couldn't stand it.
every single June. What's
Stupid.
What's the name of the coach? June
June Jones is the offensive coordinator.
Every single time they score, they go for 3. And I don't think they've got many. They've got one. And the only time they've gotten them is because they've gotten a penalty to make the distance shorter, to go to 2-point conversion distance.
Yeah.
And they get the 3 points off the 2-point because of the penalty. But other than that, they can't score all. Not many. Yeah. It's tough to get from the 10.
Yeah.
And then Gavin.
Orlando. They actually played very good, I think, against Arlington. They just couldn't get the win, like I said earlier. Like that deep ball that he could have caught and I think would have won that game for Orlando. That was really close. 8 got Las Vegas, just kind of embarrassing to the league.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they both got to get their acts together, like you said. But yeah, that's interesting, Gav. You got only one with Las Vegas as the bottom, which I mean, that's fine. Like I agree with that, like somewhat. They can definitely be the worst team.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
sure.
they're both terrible. But I mean, now with Huntley, I feel like they have to be better, or or they're done for. But so we'll go on to the week 3 predictions, or no, week 4. I was supposed to say week 4. Yeah, week 4 predictions here. I did that last week too, almost. Yeah, but so I'm at Danny caught up to me because I mean last week I think I got one game wrong, and then Danny I think you got all 4, right?
No, we were all 3 and
1. Oh, 3. Okay, we were all 3 and 1.
We were all 3 and 1.
I think I was 1 and 3.
Yeah, so our picks, we were all 3 and 1. We all got one game. I was the only one who got the.
That's me.
I forget which one I had, but I had.
Oh, we're talking about this week. Oh,
yeah, predictions.
Yeah, but anyway.
Overall before this week.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm 6 and 2. Dan's 5 and 3 now, and Gavin, he's 4 and 4. So at the end of the year, we'll do like a little trophy or something for it. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and end the episode with our predictions. And yep. So we'll go ahead and first game of the week upcoming: Houston Roughnecks versus Orlando Guardians. We all have the Roughnecks. I mean, it should be a blowout if it's the best team versus the worst team. So we'll see, I guess.
Any given Saturday or Sunday, right?
Right, yeah.
Let's get this wrapped up.
All right. So then second game of the week, Brahmas versus the Seattle Sea Dragons. I have the Seattle Sea Dragons.
Homer.
You guys. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, Homer pick.
Well, yeah. I just went ahead and picked the Sea Dragons because I feel like they can win this game. I feel like they have a very good choice.
This should be a good game. I mean, either two of these can pick, but I have to pick something different than you if I have a shot of winning too. So.
Well, yeah. So you and Gavin have the Brahmas, and then fourth game here, Renegades and the Battlehawks. I have we all have the Battlehawks winning this game.
Man, they're talking 40,000, 50,000 people in this dome. I mean, I don't think the Renegades have a shot. We'll see. They talk the game. Let's see what happens.
Me neither. I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
Rennie.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy one. This is going to be the game to watch, apparently, on TV. And then last game, Vegas Vipers versus DC at the DC Defenders. So that should be another exciting game to watch. Hey, back-to-back exciting games there. St. Louis and then DC. If only San Antonio was playing at home. Wait, are they? No, yeah, they're not. They're playing Seattle. Hopefully Seattle brings in a good crowd. But we all have the DC Defenders also beating the Vegas Vipers. So the only game we all have different is Seattle Sea Dragons and the Browns.
Yep.
Wrap this thing up. Good week 3 review stuff here, and look forward to week 4 here.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
All right. Thank everybody. Make sure to look at us on YouTube, Instagram, and Apple Podcasts and all that good stuff. See everybody next week. Have a good night.